Hello, this video is a brief overview of our evolution. In this section, I'll walk you through the journey of it all coming together, along with a glimpse of internal milestones. The intent is not to be exhaustive, yet we want to give an insight into the progress made thus far. The first step is to have the right people. We need diverse set of expertise, and I'm happy to introduce you to our team that comprises experts in optical engineering, mechanical engineering, and hardware. This forms the bedrock of our product, and everything gets built on top of this with our team of experts in firmware, software, and design. The administrative team endeavors to create an enabling environment to orchestrate and glue it all together. We also work with consultants and subject matter experts to advise us where needed. In the next section, we will dwell a bit more on each of these. Let's start with optics, that is the core of our product. In optics, we started with design and simulation. This is an iterative process, and although automation helps, this needs keen insight in finding the right balance. We are also happy to inform you that we have filed for provisional patent of our ideas and specific solutions. On a timeline, it starts with R&D for the design and results in fabrication of combiner and diffuser, so essential to the working of the HUD. These artifacts are further refined to ensure compatibility in most car dashboards and also to meet quality of service parameters and aesthetics. Moving forward to the next department, that is mechanical. Industrial and mechanical design started by doing research on vehicle dashboard profile, brainstorming concepts, and all this had to be closely synchronized with parameters from optical engineering as its touchstone. With each iteration, we aggressively worked to reduce the height and make it visually sleeker. The other challenges include getting the mounting solution to work for different dashboard profiles. Moving forward to the next department, that is hardware. The hardware comprises carefully selected components to provide robust processing capability needed to make the HUD agile. The initial design was layered to allow for easy change and replacement, but this was an interim step and it changed once we had a good grasp of the constituents. The OBD adapter was a satellite component that was developed in parallel. In order to make the HUD sleeker and robust, the hardware continues to transform into a more compact structure. While each iteration is inherently risky and expensive, it is essential to push ourselves to break the status quo and move forward. Moving forward to the next department, that is firmware. In conjunction with hardware, the firmware started with evaluation and customization of a version of Android to run on our HUD. Once this was done, then firmware had to be written for hardware components selected, like the projector, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, etc. This is an iterative process, and any change in hardware has a bearing on the firmware, either for calibration or in the extreme case, a rewrite if a component is replaced. Finally, we come to software and UX. The initial phase was to conceptualize and architect a solution identifying the major subsystems. Navigation being the most important decision, a fair amount of time was spent on it in narrowing down alternatives with proof of concept. We followed a two-pronged approach. While the hardware and firmware was evolving, the software was being written and tested on Android mobile phone. This was a stopgap and it quickly switched to the HUD when the platform was ready. Mobile application development was also in progress as a companion to the HUD. Feature implementation, enhancement, and fixes are iterative and continuous in process. Like the software, the UX is also iterative in nature and undergoes refinement based on usage and feedback. One of the challenges for UX was to accommodate the significant reduction in the height of the combiner while keeping the content crisp and legible. In this section, we will briefly discuss the issues. Orchestrating the multiple parallel streams is a challenge. Roadblocks and failures are common and have to be overcome. Vendor selection is critical for everything, be it optical components, hardware, mechanical, or even software. Each partnership needs time and cultivation, and when something doesn't work, one has to start all over again. Then comes the overruns due to incorrect estimates or inherent complexity. For example, when we transitioned from the layer system on module SOM to a single board, we underestimated the impact on firmware and it took a fair bit of time to get it right. Also, there are setbacks. We had to write off a set of boards because there were issues with assembly, and these can be pretty expensive both in time and money. Our zeal in reducing the height to get the device to be accommodated in most dash also posed a fair amount of challenges. We had to change the hardware for this, and even the combiner had to be changed twice. And also, it resulted in significant rework in firmware and redesign of the UX. We are very excited to present to you the final ID that we will manufacture. As you can see, it is a lot sleeker than our current iteration. It is in fact a culmination of our endeavor to make its presence understated, yet an indispensable companion for your driving.